Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Elena Villanueva with my co-host, Ann Hutera, and we're super excited to have you here with us today for today's episode of Tribe Talk. I've got some amazing friends that both Ann and I absolutely adore and we absolutely love, and we want to support them in every way that we can for their upcoming event. Keith and Michelle Norris, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard of Keith and Michelle Norris, they are well-known entrepreneurs in the health and wellness space. They're all about advancing the paleo movement, and they co-founded Paleo Fx. I know you've heard of that, the largest paleo event in the world. And this year's event is coming up soon. So we are going to kind of dive into all things Paleo Fx today and tell you why you should really attend this year's event. And Keith and Michelle, I'm really excited about, today's Tribe Talk. I recently got to get to know you both a little bit better, and you're such amazing human beings. You're really passionate about what you do. I saw that from the second that I met you both, and I know Elena agrees. Tell people what it is that really inspired the two of you to come up with this movement that's, become known as Paleo Fx.
Well, let's see. The backstory of Paleo Fx is that our daughter Brittany was killed in a car accident 11 and a half years ago. And she was killed 3 days before her 23rd birthday and a week before her college graduation. And she was going to be, she was a music and worship ministry major and had planned to be a minister and work in the mission field. And so when we held her first memorial service on what would have been her 23rd birthday, they held this receiving line for us, and we stood in line where almost 700 people paid their respects and were telling us how Brittany had really changed their lives in very specific and profound ways. It wasn't this, superficial, oh, she changed my life. It was, she did this, she said that, she took me here, she did this for me, whatever it was. And we recognized very quickly, even in our profound grief, and we were probably on autopilot at the time, was we realized very quickly that that was a legacy that we wanted to carry on. And for her to have changed so many lives in such a short little life of, less than 23 years, we knew that had to carry on. So fast forward from then, that was in 2009. And then in 2011, we were attending the inaugural Ancestral Health Symposium, which is a very decidedly academic symposium that discusses the science behind paleo. And we were there, and we were getting ready to leave. We were on the runway at LAX in the plane talking, and we were all excited about what we had seen, heard, done, whatever. And one of the things that I really brought up, because it seemed definitely missing to me, was a piece where it explained to people how to do paleo in their life, how to use the science in their life. And I was like, they should do cooking demonstrations, and they should do movement sessions. They should show people how to do, the exercise that they're talking about, or this, how do you do this with the foods, and how do you restrict and do all of that. And I was like, it just really needs to be, what's missing is the hands-on component, the theory to practice component, where the rubber meets the road. And Keith's like, well, they're an academic conference, I don't think they're going to do that. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, oh, this is what we should do. And this would carry on Brittany's legacy. And so we did. A few short months later, we launched Paleo Fx on March 14th, 2012, which happens to be our anniversary. And and it's kind of blown up ever since. So it's been an interesting ride, to say the least.
I remember when I went to my first Paleo Fx event, and I think it was like, I don't know, it's like 4 years ago. It was before I had a chance to get to know you guys personally. And I was really amazed. I mean, the vendors that were there were like legit, like they were awesome. Like you had like a vendor there selling like bison meat or something. And then you had, and they were like really not just there like to, like peddle their goods. They were like teaching you all about it and teaching you, why, like why their product was good. So like there was a lot of education going on, even outside of the speakers, which I absolutely loved that. The vibe was just really, really good. And then I remember listening to some of the speakers, and again, it was more of an approach of, I like the way that you said it, like where the rubber meets the road. Like they were actually like just not just on a really high academic level, which can really put some people to sleep, but they were actually really teaching people. And there was so much passion. Like all the speakers that were getting up were pretty passionate, and I was pretty impressed with the lineup of speakers that you've had. And you have a great, amazing lineup of speakers every single year, don't you?
Yes, we do. And it's funny that you say that, because I feel like one of the things that's, we, at the time that we started Paleo Fx, we were partners in a very small but very rapidly growing boutique style chain of gyms, where we had small one-on-one or small group coaching for at our gyms. And the thing is that our clients were happy that the science existed, but if they don't know how to use it, they don't really care. It's kind of irrelevant. And so that was really important to us. But then the other aspect of it, when you're talking about the exhibitors that are on the floor and everything, there's a lot of people that really don't understand the concept around how a cookie or how a chip can change the world. But it can, and that's what you saw on the floor, is that these people felt very passionate about what they're doing, what they created, because it was a chance to look at things a little bit differently. Like, just because you see mainly Lay's and Doritos and Cheetos and all Fritos and all of that stuff on the shelf doesn't mean that's the only thing that there is. There's other options. There's another way to actually get those kind of things and actually be healthier. And these people created those products because they wanted those products, but they wanted something better. They wanted something healthier, and they wanted their kids to have something healthier. And so that's exactly why you see them doing education on the floor. Almost all the exhibitors that are on the floor at Paleo Fx really are passionate about what they do and what they offer, because they've had some personal transformation themselves, or somebody in their family, or they changed somebody's health outcome, a diagnosis, diabetes, heart disease, all of these things. They were able to reverse those through the foods that they chose, and then they found a better way, and they want to educate that there's a better way to do things. And so that was really important.
And we always believe, and the tribe that comes to Paleo Fx believes as well, that your most immediate form of democracy is how you spend your time, energy, and money.
And your attention.
And your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love how you've really brought all of these aspects of the paleo world together. When you guys created Paleo Fx, I too was extremely excited. I mean, I had already been paleo for a short time, and really paleo was what got me back to my health and got me over my illness that I had been going through for so many years. And so you're absolutely right, Michelle, in that it is wonderful to have all those vendors on a floor and be able to walk around and sample things and see what's out there. There's not a lot of awareness when it comes to the healthier options. And there is, more awareness now than back in 2012, but you guys have been a huge part of that and really making this go mainstream. And it's more than just some fad diet. Some people look at paleo and think it's a fad. It's not. It's a healthier way to live, a healthier lifestyle. Talk a bit about how you guys really saw this blow up over the years. I mean, it really caught some traction, and it's grown. Your event has become this huge, well-known event.
Yeah. So what's so funny is the first year we were going in, so the Ancestral Health Symposium, their event, their very first event, had probably between 300 to 450, 500 people. So our intention was to work up to that. Our intention was to create Paleo Fx and eventually in a few years be around 500 or 600 people. So we were shocked to see how much it caught on immediately, and that it immediately had a following. It just was really surprising. So our intention was originally to, hold Paleo Fx in our gym, have some talks, some panels, some movement sessions, some cooking demonstrations, all of that over a weekend, have a few hundred people, and then grow from there. And so we had someone that was involved initially in the beginning and was like, I think, Ancestral Health Symposium had all of these people. I think you're going to have a following. I think you should go big. And we were like, okay, so we did. And of course, we had almost 700 people at the first event. And then each year it doubled. It kept doubling and doubling. And then not only when we got into 2016, did we double in size, we also tripled the size of the venue that we held. Because at first, we only had part of Palmer Event Center. And then we decided to take the entire Palmer Event Center for the 2016 event. And what was hysterical is I made the decision that we were doing that. And my business partners, one of them was another gentleman, and we walked into Palmer one day for a walkthrough because we had not had the whole thing before. And they had the whole thing completely open, and it was completely empty. And it's this massive cavernous place. And he looked at me and he was like, "What have you done?" And I was like, "Trust me, we're going to fill it. Don't just listen. I'm telling you, it's going to be filled." Not only did we fill it, we had a waiting list of 47 exhibitors that year.
Wow.
And so we were like, I was like, "I told you, whatever." And now it's just really interesting how much it's morphed and changed over the years. And really that is really a credit to the attendees, to the exhibitors, and to the speakers, because they are really great at giving back feedback and dialogue, and telling us what they want to see, and telling us what they want to hear, and telling us what they want Paleo Fx to be and to look like and feel like, and what they want to experience. And so we make the decision at the beginning of before the event cycle ends. And before we go into a live event for the next year, we create the vision for what the following year is going to look like. And then the team just focuses on that. And this team has been really incredible because they have been very adaptable. Things change really quickly, especially as we get close to the actual event. And they are so passionate about what they do, and they are such an incredible team, and they always over deliver. That's just always been how they are. I'm not saying we're perfect, because we've definitely made mistakes and missed things here or there, but by and large, most people have no idea whatever those missteps are. They generally don't even know. We know it, and we actually do a whole lot to correct after the event's over with. We have an entire day of debriefing from the entire team. They all come in, and including our director of AV, who comes in as well. And we just spend an entire day talking about what we did right and what we need to, expand on for next year, and then what we did wrong and what we need to make sure we change, and how what that needs to look like. So
yeah, a live show, and you can speak to that. It's no joke. There's no retake.
Yeah, there's always going to be surprises, and that really is a testament to you guys' success, is doing that after the fact, really picking apart and trying to make things better for the last year and then for the next year. And that's really something to be, commended for all that effort that you do. Talk about this year. Is there a theme, or how do you go about choosing who's going to be there, who's speaking? Let's talk about that.
Yes, we are super excited. Okay, so this year, the 2020 virtual event, which will be held on November 14th. And this is the first time we're ever doing Paleo Fx virtual, obviously, for the obvious reasons of COVID-19, and because the city of Austin has been very, I don't know what the word would be. I would say very cautious about the way that they've chosen to open the city.
In words.
Anyway, and so they, of course, canceled us for 2020. So we decided to take it to a virtual. Now, one thing, in case your listeners are already have badges or passes, the virtual event, to anybody that purchased badges or passes before we were shut down in March, has access to this for free. There's no additional charge for them. Same thing with our exhibitors and our sponsors. There's no additional charge to them. And if you didn't get your badges or passes before then, it's a pretty nominal fee to have access to all of this. You can either get the 1-day access or you can get 30-day access, which is really great. And there's going to be some amazing speakers. Our theme for this year is Nurture Destiny for the 2021 event. The 2020 event. Sorry about that. And our theme for the 2021 event is Primal Uprising. And I think there's a lot that can be read into that theme, but really basically we got a book deal, and our book is going to be called Primal Uprising, the Paleo Fx Guide to Optimizing Your Health, Expanding Your Mind, and Reclaiming Your Freedom. And so we're super passionate about this book, and so that is going to be the name of our theme for the 2021 event. And basically what we talk about in the book is the 7 pillars of health, which comprises everything that we talk about at Paleo Fx. And then some. We talk about a lot of stuff outside of between all of those things. And so the 7 pillars of health are physical health, mental health, emotional health, relational health, spiritual health, financial health, and then tribal health. And so the book talks about all of those things, and basically what it looks like for this what it looks like to have that health, and then what it takes and what are some action steps to actually get the resilience in each of those areas of life. And basically the premise of it is that we are all living in a human zoo, and each of us has the keys to our own cell door, and we're going to tell you how you access those keys so that you can get out of the cell. And so the whole book is based on that, and really in all honesty, we just don't really know the kind of power that we each have within us. And this book is really a guide for people to access that power and to reclaim that power, because we are all free, sovereign beings. And the problem is that that information has been kept from us for a very long time. And when you access that, know that, and have access to that power, you can be truly free, and you can have anything you want. And so that's what the book is about.
And health is the first roadblock to
right.
that. If you're not healthy, you're not free. It doesn't matter where you live, under what political regime or whatever. If you are not healthy, you're not free.
Mm-hmm.
You are beholden to somebody else or some other entity. So for number one step, get healthy. And then from there, we can add to that. But yeah, that's what the book is about. And that's what Paleo Fx is about, helping people get healthy.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna want to have you back to talk about the book before the book gets released, because as I have gotten to know the both of you, I've just really fallen in love with you guys. I almost get teary, those happy tears, because I'm just so blessed that you guys are in our lives. You have so much to teach. You've helped bring a lot of clarity, even for me, when, the reality is that, I was having a little bit of anxiety earlier this year, thinking that, people didn't know what was going on, and people, didn't have their eyes open. And, but you even helped me see that there was even a whole nother layer of that my eyes were not open to. And you helped me see that. And that's really helped change my direction a lot this year. It's helped me be a better person. And so I can't wait to get on an interview and talk about this book that you have going on. So as far as the event this year, you've got a lot of, speakers lined up. Tell us a little bit about, just a handful maybe of some of the ones that, come to mind.
Well, we're really excited to have our friend Dave Asprey coming back this year, which has been really great. One of the great things, this is one of the really exciting things about the virtual event that I think will be over and above, hands above the live event that people I think will really like is that not all of the speakers, but a lot of speakers are going to be doing breakouts. So that means you have this access, this unprecedented access to these speakers. And now I know a lot of people have a lot of access to the speakers at Paleo Fx, the live event, but a lot of times you don't have the opportunity to really ask the questions that you want to, and you can ask questions really pertaining to their talk and everything. So they'll be doing breakouts right after their talks. So like Dave is one of those people. Then of course other speakers, and I'm going to be honest, Dave's the one that I know right now that has a breakout because I actually talked to him and we were deciding on how much time he wanted and all of that stuff. So just so we're aware. But the other speakers that are going to be talking and may or may not have breakouts is like Jim Quick, Dr. Stephen Gundry, Dr. Tom O'Brien, Dr. Alan Christensen, Dr. Annika Becca. You will be speaking. Todd and Cole Whitty, who we are partners with in some businesses, and they have been really integral about the changes that we're making at Paleo Fx, particularly as it pertains to inclusivity and into cultural diversity at Paleo Fx, and we're really excited about that. I'm trying to think. Christina Wise. Who else? We've got so many. John Gray, Ben Greenfield.
One thing I'm super excited about is Michelle and I both grew up in South Texas, and South Texas, people may or may not know, has a very high percentage of Hispanics, and a large percentage of those are suffering mightily from diseases of modernity, and diabetes, obesity, and heart disease, and that demographic is
rampant.
It's rampant. And we're going to have our first ever Spanish-speaking panel,
which we're super excited about.
Super excited.
It's taken 2 years to get it done because the people that are going to be on the panel were not able to make it to the 2009. Not all of them. Some of them made it to the 2019 event. So we finally were able to pull it off, and we got it set for the 2020 event. And then of course that got canceled. And now we were able to put it together about a week or so ago that they would be able to all get together and do the panel. So we're really excited about that. We're going to also have some Spanish talks, which that's another thing that we've been like really working on is being able to have some of that diversity. We've had a lot of Hispanic people come to Paleo Fx, and yet this was something that we hadn't been able to offer before. So we're real excited about that. And then
just being able to bridge that gap with actionable education and like you said, a lot of the rubber meets the road, how what to do for this demographic, because they're ravaged by these diseases and they're easily taken care of. I mean, these are lifestyle diseases, as we know. They just don't have access to the same information.
Right.
And we're doing our part, the little part that we can to remedy that. And we're excited about it.
I think that's incredible that you guys are doing that. I mean, I'm also in South Texas. The community I live in is largely Hispanic, and you're absolutely right. It's an underserved population. They're wanting the information. There's just really a language barrier there. And so I think that's really commendable that you've really opened this up to a whole set of people that maybe haven't attended in the past, and now they have this opportunity to do so. And of course, we're very excited at Modern Holistic Health that Dr. V is going to be speaking. Let me ask you, I mean, we know how incredible Dr. V is. What really inspired you to have her come on and join your panels?
Honestly, I met her at Mindshare last year and immediately connected with her. And what I really loved about her, so this is something that happens to me a lot. People meet me, know what I do, know the business I own. And the first thing they usually ask me is, can I speak on your stage? And that is not at all what she did. And she asked me, hey, what can I do to help serve your people? And when you have somebody do that, because they're looking to serve somebody else first before getting anything for themselves, that is who I want being part of this. Those are the people I want in front of my tribe, because I know they're going to take care of them. that they're not going to be just looking for whatever the tribe can do for them. And so it was really, when she offered to do, what can I do for your, can I do some classes for them? Can I get on some, whatever, tell me what I can do to serve you and serve your people. And that right there, for me, servant leadership is what I'm all about. And so if you are going to want to be in front of my audience, you got to want to take care of them first before anything else. And that's what she did. And so, and I fell in love with her.
Right. Alana just beams love and gratitude. I mean, she does. And it's, I mean, and you can feel it when you are in her presence, you can feel it. So there was an instant connection there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I wanted to mention, when we were talking about food earlier, and how I mean, that's, food is your medicine. Like, that is so important. And I was actually recording my talk for you yesterday, and I have the most amazing section on food, and I show scientific evidence about how certain foods lead to massive neurodegenerative or psychological type issues. So like schizophrenia, ADD, ADHD, depression, anxiety, and how we actually have the science to back that up now, and how we can do very specific lab testing to see if those specific foods are causing, a quote unquote like fire up in your brain. Is it actually causing an antibody response where your body is attacking your brain every time you eat this certain food? And then of course, then you end up with like a lifelong diagnosis of schizophrenia when it turned out it was like gluten or something like that. And so when you guys started talking about food earlier, I was sitting here going, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about that part. Like, I was so excited about that. Because, I don't know who else is going to be talking about brain this year. And since I haven't had an opportunity to, see a ton of your talks, I've seen some and they're super passionate. They're almost kind of like, I've seen some of the ones I've seen are almost like TED Talk style. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, like I don't know how to do a TED Talk style. And then I was just like, what would Michelle tell me to do? Or what would Keith tell me to do? Or what would Ann tell me to do? Just speak your truth. And so I just nerded out and I went through slides, but with a lot of passion, like I always do. And I started just talking about, the most common underlying causes of mental health disorders and neurodegenerative disease, with an underlying message of, you are not broken. There are answers and there are solutions. And I'm really honored that you are having me on this year, because 2020 has been such a crazy year for people. And so many people were already struggling with mental health issues, and this drove them literally over the cliff. They've gone over the cliff. And, we need to.
I think that's an understatement.
No, I know. We just need to reach so many people and let them know, like, there are people out there who can help you. There's nothing wrong with you. And if you were already struggling before this year and this kind of threw you over the edge, just reach out, let us help you. And so I wanted to tell you, thank you. Thank you for having us on to spread the message. And if you, if you need us or want us there to do a breakout session, or whatever, afterwards, just whatever, like, just let us know. If there are people that are needing to reach out that have questions, like, we will do whatever we need to do to help. So.
Yeah, just arrange that with Melissa. Melissa's taking care of all of that. I just have to say, I have to give a big shout out to my team, because they have been amazing, and they have they've taken on a lot of stuff this year, considering everything that's happened and all the shifts and all the adapting and the pivoting and everything that's happened. They have been just troopers. They've been so amazing. And then of course, there's the added pressure that we have our book coming down the pike, and they have like all this stuff. So it's like, they are awesome. So really particularly big shout out to Melissa and Christian and Mackie and Janet and Angel and Celia and Gia and I know I'm leaving somebody at Clayton and Rick and Chase and
They're just all fabulous. And they, like Michelle said, they've been through the ringer this year.
yeah.
I know all live events. I feel for every event producer out there who puts on live events and the people involved, the employees of any live event. I mean, it's been a devastating year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, taking a live event to virtual isn't necessarily an easy thing. That's a whole new other set of issues and problems you have to work through. But I know you guys are going to be really successful at that this year. And you have this opportunity to really reach this whole new set of people that maybe they've never been able to make the trip down to Austin, or they're out of country, or they're somewhere else in the world. So you've really got this huge stage. And I think it's just incredible. And I'm really excited to see what you guys are offering this year. How do people get involved? If they want to come on November 14th, what do they need to do? How do they get a ticket?
So they can go to our website, paleofx.com/virtual. They go there, and that's where they can find all the details on the virtual event, who's speaking, all of that. I think all of the speakers are on there now. I think that they got them on to the site now. So lot of really great speakers. We have close to I think it's 60 something speakers. Anyway, and so and the live event has roughly 100 speakers. So it's not that far off from the live event. It did take, there was a lot of speakers that really wanted to be involved, but the timing, they just couldn't pull it off, either doing it live or even doing a pre-recording. Many of our big speakers have a lot of other talks going on, so they are trying to get all these different things taken care of. So we have the live event will be just as big as it ever is when we hold it in April 23rd to the 25th of 2021. And yeah, so we've got a lot, and it did take quite a bit for us to find a virtual platform that would be as dynamic as we needed it to be, because Paleo Fx is very dynamic. To have that many stages all running at one time and all the things. And the really great thing about this is that you can get 30-day access. So lots of people keep telling us we should just build Paleo Fx for people to come live, and at least you can like hang out and check out all of Paleo Fx for 30 days as you have time and everything. And then the other thing is that the exhibitors and sponsors will have virtual booths, which is really awesome. And we're gamifying it so that you can, when you visit our exhibitors and sponsors, you get points to win prizes and stuff. So we're really excited about that.
I think that's awesome. And, you know, Michelle, do not downplay the speakers you've got this year, because I mean, I went and looked at the list, and you really do have some amazing speakers.
Yeah.
You might be used to having 100, but the 60 that you have are really, like, I was like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. I mean, of course, you always have really good speakers at your event. I mean, this is an event that, you know, for those of you listening, this is an event that if you did this anywhere else, you would be paying, you know, probably $3,000 plus just to be able to get into an event, to get to be in front of these types of people. And so this is something that you don't want to miss. This is something that I highly recommend that you do. And the other thing too is that this is going to get your foot in the door to an event that it's not just an event, it's a community.
Yeah.
And we need community. We need to come back together. There's too much separation. There was already separation before 2020. Now the separation, it's too much. We need to turn around and we need to come back together as a community. And this will be an opportunity for you to do that. And then next year, you'll already be familiar with the event on a virtual platform. Wait till you get to see it in person. It's absolutely fantastic. It will blow you away. And if you're there for it next year when it's in person, you know, Ann and I are going to be there. So, you know, we'll definitely make like a coffee date over at Asprey's I'm sure Asprey will probably have a booth over there with his people working it. We'll have a coffee date over at Asprey's booth for the bulletproof coffee. So I'll just throw out a message on my social media. They'll be like, hey, Dr. V and Ann are going to be over at Asprey's at the bulletproof booth at 1:30 p.m. Meet us there. And then any of our clients, any of our followers or friends, you guys can go meet us over there at the booth next year. But you shouldn't wait until next year to do it. You should definitely jump in this year and do it. Again, there's going to be some really, really good speakers. And Michelle and Keith, we will make sure, and for those of you listening, that we put the link for you to be able to go in and buy your tickets, that we'll also send it out to you in an email. So for all of our TribeTalk followers, just be sure and check your email, because we will be sending out that link for you as well. So, you can either go directly to Paleo Fx, super easy to find online, or you can wait and you can just, click on the link that we send you. So highly, highly encourage you to attend this year.
Yeah, and I just want to say to our clients who are watching, which a lot of our clients tell us they tune in every week and listen to Tribe Talk, this is something that you really don't want to miss. For those of you who are right in the middle of real lifestyle change and trying to get your health back, you're going to get a lot of that information and that education from this event. So, get in, get a ticket, join us, be there, listen to all the speakers, and then we can chat about it afterwards. We're always here to answer any questions that you have. And, Keith and Michelle, thank you again for being here. We really appreciate it. We know you're so busy getting ready for this year's event and working on the book, but we're just really excited to hear about all the things that you both have coming up. You guys both are an inspiration.
Well, thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Thank you for having us. One thing I wanted to add on to what Elena was saying was one of our mottos at Paleo Fx is to come for the event, but stay for the tribe, because that's like so important, particularly now. And we talk about this in our book, is how important tribe really is and how disconnected we can be in such a digitally connected world. And so right now, especially with like suicide rates are up 25 or 475%. That is something that's just so heartbreaking. And the thing is that when we all really choose to come together and actually be there for each other, people don't feel so alone. And so that is one of the biggest things about Paleo Fx is the idea of tribe and having a tribe and being there for each other and being like-minded. And so we just really love our audience and the people that come and support Paleo Fx, and we thank you guys so much for supporting us too.
Thank you very much, both of you.
Oh, thank you. We love you guys so much. So much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us on today's Tribe Talk episode with Keith and Michelle Norris of Paleo Fx. Ann and I love you so much, and we will see you next week for next week's episode. We've got some great speakers lined up. Thank you.
Awesome.